Hello
Hello,
and
sir.
welcome to the introductory microeconomics class. We have to study the next concept of Unit 5, which is consumer's equilibrium and demand. So there are concepts of utility, marginal utility, and law of diminishing marginal utility, along with conditions of consumer's equilibrium using marginal utility analysis. There's also the study of indifference curve analysis of consumer's equilibrium, which shows the consumer's budget, which has budget set in the budget line. There's also the preferences of the consumer, which are plotted in indifference curves and in indifference maps. And there's a conditions of the consumer's equilibrium as well. We extensively study the concept of demand, market demand, determinants of demand, demand schedule, demand curve and its slope. There's the movement along and shifts in demand curve as well. There's also price elasticity of demand, which also determines the factors which affect the price elasticity of demand. There's also the measurement of price elasticity of demand, the percentage method, and the total expenditure method for the elasticity of demand as well.
Hello.
Yeah. So we are heading to the unit 5 of the introductory microeconomics classes. Just slightly
Okay.
gap. We will start the unit 5 soon, another couple of minutes. So are there any clarifications
Um. No.
regarding unit 4?
No.
So this unit 5 consumes 40 periods, but we might uh, get done with quicker. So it is part of the part B of introductory microeconomics for CBSE class level economics for the academic year of 2023-24. Consumer equilibrium and demand, which is unit 5. So what do we know of consumers? Are there
Mm.
important constituents in the market because they're
Yeah.
different from producers and sellers? Consumers have a purchasing power as well,
Yeah.
and we know that equilibrium is when demand and supply is equal.
Yeah.
Demand is for any product. It is mainly sought after by the consumers. So we know the three different keywords. There are a lot of keywords and jargons which are going to be used in microeconomics, which
Okay.
will be more in the coming sessions. So we need to be clear and thorough with the jargons before we proceed from concepts to another concept as well.
Yeah.
Utility. Utility refers to the comprehensive benefits obtained from consuming an item or service. This sums up the utility definition. Consumers would typically aim to maximize their utility based on rational choice, based on economic models. To comprehend the monetary value of an item or service is crucial because it directly impacts demand and hence pricing for that service or product. It is impossible to assess and quantify a consumer's utility in practice. So we have some units of utility for any product we buy in the market. Let's say, for example, a cricket bat, that utility would only be determined when we step out on the cricket field to play any match. So we'll know the utility concept. Marginal
Yeah.
utility. Marginal utility in economics is the additional satisfaction or benefit, which is utility that a consumer derives from buying an additional unit of a commodity or service. The concept implies that a utility or benefit to a consumer of an additional unit of product is inversely related to the number of units of the product he already owns. So, as in when we buy more of cricket bats, the utility increases, and after a certain point, if you buy, let's say, for example, 5 bats, then the utility will start declining when we buy the sixth bat because there's an inverse relation to a additional unit of a product. So this is known as the marginal utility.
Hello. Hello.
Yes,
Okay.
we'll head to the next. We do plot the total utility and the marginal utility as well. So next is the law of diminishing marginal utility. According to many economists like Dr. Marshall, the law of diminishing marginal utility definition is when the additional benefit that a person derives from a given increase of his stock of anything diminishes with the increase in the stock that he already has. The law states that the more we have of a commodity, the less we want to have more of it, as the utility derived from every success unit of the commodity keeps on declining when more is consumed. Units of commodities consumed should be identical or homogeneous, that is the same in all respects. Units should be consumed in quick succession with minimal breaks in between. Units should be of a standard size, that is neither too big nor too small. The tastes of the consumers should be constant. There should be no change in the price of substitute goods. If the prices of substitute goods change, it may become difficult to have an idea about the utility that the consumer might get from the main commodity. The utility is
So
measurable.
are you reading from a PPT? Because I can't see it.
Are we clear? No.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So the utility is measurable. The consumer is rational while making consumption decisions. So are there any clarifications regarding utility, total utility, marginal utility, and the law of diminishing marginal utility?
No.
So this law is given by Dr. Marshall. The law of diminishing marginal utility makes many assumptions. The goods being consumed are identical. Units are not too big or too small. Consumer's taste is constant. So there's the conditions of equilibrium using marginal utility analysis. So we will study this concept in the next session. We'll clarify
Okay.
any doubts we have regarding utility, total utility, and law of diminishing marginality. Has it been studied earlier? No, because it is a new concept.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Okay. And the utility concept is new because it deals with the utils of each product that consumers consume. And are there any clarifications?
No.
Okay. So in this chapter, there are many chapters. We have a lot of concepts
Okay.
regarding the equilibrium using marginal utility analysis. There's also the indifference curve analysis of consumers' equilibrium. We will study this elaborately in the next session. We just glance through many of the concepts right now. There's a budget line, there's an equation of a budget line. In the preferences of the consumer, there's indifference curve, indifference map. There's also the conditions of consumers' equilibrium. The budget line is also plotted
Okay.
according to the table given for good X and good Y. There's the concept of demand as well, aggregate demand, market demand. There are determinants of demand as well. There's demand schedule where the demand curve is plotted. There's the shifts and movements in the demand curve. There's also the reasons behind the downward sloping of the demand curve. We are aware of the law of demand. There's also the shifts in demand curve, which I extensively studied. There's the leftward and the rightward shift. There's a concept of price elasticity of demand, where price elasticity demand is the percentage change in quantity demanded by percentage change in price. There are 5 factors which affect price elasticity of demand. There's the measurement of price elasticity of demand, which are the two concepts of percentage change method and expenditure method. So these are one of the main concepts in the unit 5 of the consumer's equilibrium and demand. So will this be difficult to go through?
Probably.
So how does the textbook rank in with respect to the PowerPoint presentation? Can we compare the two?
Actually, I don't have my textbook.
Okay. The textbook will be shared. The unit chapter 2 has been shared
Okay.
by email. That can be studied before we
Oh,
move ahead with the
okay.
PowerPoint presentation as well.
Okay.
There are the two chapters of the chapter 2.
Yeah.
The chapter 2 is of theory of consumer behavior, which depicts the utility, the cardinal utility analysis. There's the same ordinal utility analysis. The margin rate of substitution is also given in the chapter 2. There are 28 pages in the chapter. These can be elaborately studied. We will definitely take the next 1 week in studying the chapter 2 or the unit 2 as well. So we will be back on Tuesday at
Oh, okay.
7 p.m. So till then, have a great time and have a great day as well. Thanks a lot.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.